People. Que pasa, sapa, say what they do. Now people, the first part of this video is called Everton Beachy Stout McDonald. His goose is as good as cook. It is just a matter of formality. It is just a matter of time before he is going to get a max sentence. And we are speaking about for the takeaway of his wife, a person whose name is Tonya McDonald. And she was taken out on July 20th, 2020 in a place called Sherwood Forest. Now people, based on the information that is circulating all over social media and on the court or in the court, it is said that one of the person, I am speaking about the contracted hitman, not the actual person that took the lady away. However, he was the one that was given 3 million Jamaican dollars to take out the wife of Mr. Beachy Stout. I am speaking about a person whose name is Denverlin Minot, and he is said to be 56-year-old and he is a fisherman from Portland. Now, based on the information, it is said that he was sentenced yesterday and he got 19 years imprisonment of hard labor, and he is eligible for parole after 10 years. So people, basically what happened is that he basically took a plea instead of taking the case to courts, which he knew he would have basically been found guilty because there was all sorts of evidence, rete, lele, blue, blah, blah. So therefore what he did, he gave a caution statement. In essence, he basically confessed to the whole thing and become the state evidence. And what that means is that he is going to be giving evidence against the other two. I am speaking about Asha Barnes, who they call you, who was the actual person that juke up. We are speaking about Mrs. Tonya McDonald. And also we are talking about the husband, Beachy Stout. Now, based on the court report and based on information from the prosecution, it is said that this man gave information to the detectives from the Major Investigative Division, and people, they said that he was remorseful. And he said that he was paid $3 million by Mr. Beachy Stout to take away his wife. And he gave specific information, and people, that information was this, that the wife is supposed to be juke up and then burn up in a fire we are talking about in our car. Now people, when we think about stuff like this, we have to ask the question. It seems as if this man, Mr. Beachy Stout, he has no sort of conscience, because what type of man could really have a wife? What type of man could really lay down with a woman in a bed and then to think up some sort of stuff like this, to take her out in such a very serious way? People, we are speaking about a person that is psychopathic, point blank and period. So anyways, based on the caution statement or testimony that was given by Mr. Denverlin Minor, he said that he picked up the wife, or the wife picked him up, and he told her that they had to pick up somebody else. And they went for the person who is the man that basically juke up this lady. We are speaking about Mr. Asha Barnes. He said that they picked up Mr. Asha Barnes, and when they was driving, Mr. Asha Barnes indicated to Miss Tonya that he need to make a turn. And then when he made that turn, or when she made that turn, Mr. Minor, he stepped out of the car. And she became very scared because she said, listen, you know, see the place that I'm afraid. And he said he stepped out of the car, and also Mr. Asha stepped out the car. However, Mr. Asha Barnes went back in the car and started to basically choke the lady, put him arm around her neck in the back seat. We are speaking about by the headrest of the car, and then him start juke her up in her back, in her side, in her neck, and then bust the throat. And people, like the man said, Mr. Minot said, he said that she was struggling. However, she passed away because, people, when you compare the strength of an average woman versus the strength of an average man, it is no comparison. So people, the point that I am trying to make is that it was a very painful DEATH for this lady. We saw that she was struggling. We saw that she was in a whole lot of pain. However, these persons did not care. It seemed as if nobody had any sort of conscience. All they were thinking about is that $3 million. We're talking about the purse. We're talking about that hit money. Now people, what this shows you is how cold the hearts of men are. Because remember, Mr. Asha is supposed to be a farmer and Mr. Minot is supposed to be a fisherman. We are talking about that is their profession. That is the way how they make their living. However, they were easily lured by the easy money. We are talking about this $3 million. So therefore they lost their conscience. They became licky. They became greedy because they wanted that money. And people, more than likely, after these two men had finished their task, more than likely Mr. Beachy Stout would also put a hit on their head. So people, it only shows you cannot trust somebody that is going to hire you to take out somebody else, because more than likely after you do your deeds, he is also going to pay somebody to take you out. It is going to be a cycle of evilness. And people, the truth and the facts that based on information that is circulating out there, this might not be the first or the second time that Mr. Beach is basically taking out somebody, because based on the Popo investigation, it is said that they are also investigating the slap away of his wife in 2009 and also the slap away of Mrs. Tony Ann's parent. May I talk about the father or the mother? One of them basically got conned up and the next one basically was taken out. So people, we are speaking about a person that might be some sort of SERIAL person, point blank and period. Now people, what is even more despicable about the whole thing, other than the fact that this husband, Mr. Beachy Stout, he wanted his wife to be passed away in a very, we're talking about painful way, is also the fact that in this man's confession, in his confession or his statement, he said that Miss Mac trusted him. She believed in him. She was the reason why she go up there. So people, he knew that this lady was afraid. He knew that this lady trusted him, and that is the reason why she rolled with him. That is the reason why he could influence her to basically go pick up somebody that was going to be the person to take her out. So people, me just show you how the hearts of men are. They are very evil. So people, like I've always said, you cannot trust people, you can't trust family member, you can't trust your mama, you can't trust your papa, you can't trust the dog, you can't trust the post, because the truth and the facts that it is always the ones that are close to you that know your secret and can influence you and can basically make you make decisions that you would not usually do. They are the ones that are always, or in most cases scenario, are responsible for most persons getting slapped away. And people, in this case, we see that that is the case. And people, what is even sadder about this situation is the fact that this man, it seems as if he is now remorseful. But people, the sad reality is that whenever you make any sort of evil decision like that, there is no pressing reset. There is no basically combat. There is no sort of damage control, because the damage is already done and it cannot be erased, point blank and period. So people, like I said, the good thing about this whole situation is that Mr. Denverlin Minot, he was sentenced to 19 years in the big yard, and he is going to be eligible for parole after 10 years. And people, just to show you how bad this situation is, even the justice in the court, I am speaking about a person whose name is Vivian Harris, she said that this was very horrific. So people, you understand that judges in Jamaica, them say all sort of despicable act. And people, when she said that this was very horrific, people, it was bad, because the truth and the facts that I do have the picture. I am speaking about the picture of Mrs. Tony Ann when she was burnt up. I am not speaking about the picture of the car, which everybody else have. So people, if you want the picture, you can WhatsApp me, and the phone number is 1-876-894-2711, and just leave a message. Please send me the picture, your name, and also add me to the WhatsApp group. People, that is my views on the whole thing as it pertains to that. And like me say, it is just my views and opinion. It is not the gospel. Your views and opinion can be respectfully different from mine. But let me know what you think in the comment section.